definitely say that Tyrant's Rage into walls is definitely one huge element that you don't really want to deal with, especially when you are fighting in choke points in the jungle. Now, we're also seeing a lot of all these players from the MPL always utilizing that Kufa into great effect. Same goes to Esmeralda, though she has been hit by a couple of all these nerfs, but it doesn't seem like it's stopping all these top teams from picking her at all.
I mean, even though she is S-class, the teams who have decided to ban her or even had the opportunity to pick her only have a 50% win rate so far. So really, it technically is just a roll of the dice based on the group stages alone from day one, data compiled from day one and day two. I'm not so sure whether it's as good of a pick as we all mentioned, especially at such high level play, because a lot of teams are just like, you know what? How about no? How about we don't? How about we just play around it? How about we lock in something like a Kaja of some sort, just to make sure you don't get to play the game?
I feel like her position right now is similar to what Kimi is, because Kimi has received a couple of nerfs as well, and she wasn't really getting all too much of that attention. Even sometimes that pick is being left out in the open. Just such as right now, we're seeing a Chao ban coming in from the side of Todak here, which is pretty interesting, which means that they're going to open up another strong pick for the side of Todak. Now, Fuza can really got to pick a poison here.
I really think this is so smart, because if you ban out Cho, that kind of limits the pool. Kaja is open. Kaja is open. Xborg is open. Rock is open. Oh, look at that death stare. Look at that. He knows. He knows the camera's on him, baby.
Oh, he's not really going to stop until you budge. So cameraman's probably a little bit shaken there with that sort of reaction. Now, that's going to be the Xborg being picked up. And I'm liking the fact that these boys here are already starting off the day with some great spirit.
Yeah. I would like to see Todak actually pick up the Grok Kaja here, but then again, high loss is on the table as well, so it's like, pick your poison.
I would like to have a high loss on the team in that sort of sense. So Todak's reading my mind as well. Well, these players definitely know that getting these sort of picks is definitely really safe for the first phase of the game.
Agreed.
But this means that SS, they now have the option to get that Kaya, and they won't let it slide away.
Yeah, Kaja is going to be hovered over as of right now, but what are they going to pair it with is the bigger question. They could pick their mage up here and then kind of hold off on the tanks, but, you know, carry a great counter pick to actually deal with the Grok. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid pick. The question is, do they want to actually go for it? Because then, second ban phase, they're going to be losing out on the mages. So again, it's one of those choices like, do I pick it? Do I not pick it? Or have I revealed too much information for Todak?
I would say that they definitely haven't revealed all too much. This is pretty much standard for Todak, but from the side of Sunspark, they also have the option of picking the Lolita as well as the Kaja, and instead they're going in for that Lunox as well as the carry pickoff. So, which means that Todak, after this phase, they just have to remove one of these and may be able to also get one for themselves. So, who knows with this sort of Chang'e pick? I think that what they should do, Todak should possibly pick up maybe, well, something a little bit more offensive to defend it, or even steal that Lolita away. But then again, they've already got so many great frontliners. They need a heavy hitter.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we see Sunspark, they have all their heavy hitters already, and I think for Todak, they might have a slight advantage here. However, the one thing that they have to worry about is actually dealing with the Boxia. Now, they could ban out Lolita, very clear counter pick. Ooh, they want to get rid of the Kaja instead, so they're willing to give up the Lolita as well as the Boxia. I was expecting them to ban one or the other and let them actually have the Kaja, because in most situations, she needs to kind of like play towards the side flanks to catch somebody off or make a big play, which is easy to deal with if you have Purify.
Now, of course, it really depends if they would actually prefer having that Purify, of course. Now, for Todak's side, they could definitely try to negate them from actually securing better picks, but they're going in with this Leomort pick. So what do you feel about Leomort? Because we don't see it all too often, but it's definitely something that's pretty reliable hitting into the late game.
I think what they needed was a way to kind of like deal with the Xborg. I think Leomort is a pretty smart way to deal with him, though yes, his early game not as great as the Xborg for sure, but as he scales, he's just going to get better and better and better. You last Insanity, I'm basically just going to kill you the moment I pop my Phantom Steed. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. They're finishing out the composition with the Granger. I like it. Overall, this is really, really good. Like, Granger so far, 73% win rate. It just feels right.
Yes, and 73% win rate is definitely that sort of a percentage that's off the charts if you really want to consider in all these competitive play. And now that Todak's having that sort of take up there, it might just have some slight edge over that carry, especially in the mid game as well as the early game, where they could definitely deal a chunk of damage. But it really depends on how some of all these teams rotate to actually reap rewards out of the jungle or even secure things like the turtle as well. Now, in terms of team fighting, which team do you prefer?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Before I even answer that, I want to thank Alayla Lele from Reddit itself for actually providing a lot of these stats for us here at the Caster's Table. Really great work. She compiled it, he or she compiled it over the past 2 days, and it's just a comprehensive list. So thank you to the Redditor who actually put it back up. Definitely helps us at the Caster's Table. To answer your question here, I personally think it's kind of 50-50 because it's based on 2 conditions for Sunspark and 1 condition for Todak. I think Todak has a very linear line of gameplay. Siege, if you fight, we can kind of, re-engage into the fight. They're not looking to force anything out unless it's a catch. And in most cases, we've seen the high loss not really being able to, it's not a Kaja. It can't just hey, you are going to die. It doesn't get to pick and choose. Kaja, on the other hand, needs to land on some big hitting targets. Lock down the Leomord, maybe. That's 1 point of contention on the top side of the map. They could look for the Chang'e for sure. I don't think she's going to be in range to get Granger, but I think Chang'e is something that they need to be very, very aware of because her range is just so long. She walks up. If she gets chunked out by the meteor shower, it's not going to be a good time for them. So I think Sunspark, they kind of have to look for many different angles to deal with Todak right now. And again, whoever gets that early mid-game lead is going to have net themselves 2, maybe even 3 turrets.
Yeah, perhaps so. And I'm really looking at how Sunspark could approach this is to bully off that Leomord in the early game. Now, speaking of that, we're heading in towards our very first game of Day 3, Sunspark versus Todak here. And of course, Sunspark on the blue side versus Todak on the red. Now, we've already talked about a lot of all these picks. Now, let's get towards that Lunox pick because from what I remembered, we're seeing a lot of great work from all these players that picked up the Lunox. But wow, what do we have in the side of the river here is Nenas Chiku already soaking a little bit more damage coming from Felicia as well as the JP, but they are not letting them getting anywhere close to Proxy in the way.
This is such a bad trade because overall, Chiku, he got chunked out really hard, forcing out the Rejuvenate from Nenas to kind of keep him at a healthy amount. They're going to get the cooldowns. They're going to get the cooldown, which of course is always great, but again, if you want to go for something aggressive, you need your mid lane, and Todak, they understand yeah, we've got a strong early game. Let's use our mid rotation to kind of steal away your buffs.
Yeah, I can see great aggressive plays coming from Todak, and Flicker has been taken off the side of Felicia, and immediately look at it, how efficient they just went in for the raids, and Todak now will be able to secure that river crab. While on the top side, they're about to do the same coming from Sunsparks of the Philippines. Yeah,
I personally think that they should contest topside for sure, but again, I think they want to focus all their energy towards the bottom side. Oh no, Leomord's in trouble here. X-Ray instantly goes down. He disrespects trying to use the momentum to try and gain some sort of advantage. He gets punished instead. Rezio gets a good chunk of the power of nature here. Guardian's Banner is popped, but let's look at that replay one more time, because as we can see here, he definitely disrespected, walks up too far, and then he already had at least half of that gauge, passive gauge from X-Ray. The moment the true damage starts kicking in, he was basically goner.
Yeah, and look at how much damage that they just put out in that split second of time with Kill VJ, as well as the Renzio going in, and here comes E1 flickering off the fight, but it will be Renzio going for the chase, and Fuzaken will seal the deal, and that's 2-0 for the side of Sunspark.
Yep, and Todak giving another kill over JP, taking quite a bit of damage, but at least he's able to pull backwards. Wait, hold on! He takes a full hit of Rondo, that last touch! The crit was able to pick him off.
Oh my, and they did not expect that sort of damage output coming from Chiku all too early of the game. Now Lolita, of course, a little bit way too late. Mount Moon's going to receive a little bit of that tickle as E1 has arrived to the scene, and E1 is just, of course, not trying to overextend. While Rafflesia, once again, right under the tower. What can Rafisa do to keep himself safe?
Oh, hold up. Look at the rotations. Look at the rotations because Sunspark wants to collapse onto mid lane. Do they notice? Todak don't know. Revelation goes down, but Chiku might be in trouble here. He has to pull back as the rest of the team pulls it. Glorious Path is already not down, but Fukusen isn't going to let them escape. Hurricane Dance right on top of them. Nunas is in trouble. He has no support from the team, but Todak, they're willing to sacrifice 2 members and hopefully get Turtle off of this. They are rushing it down with the Meteor Shower to net themselves some gold after that heavy loss in the bot lane.
What a beautiful Hurricane Dance right from the corners of the tower, and they did not see this one coming. Look at Nunas, he's already all taken off a back seat, and Nunas could only run the opposite direction, and that was definitely a great flank coming in from inside of Sunsparks. Well, Todak managed to secure that turtle over the top side, and now things are looking pretty good for the side of Sunsparks here with about 1k of a goal lead.
Yeah, and it was great job by Fukusen because he managed to get, cut them off. Ooh, good play. JP is in trouble. He's in so one little more damage. The Wild Charge comes through, clips JP. JP is not having a good time, but Sunspark, remember, they're still ahead in gold. They're still in it to win it.
Wow, they're hammering each other on all so early in the morning. And now, look at it. It's less than 4 minutes of the game, and we're already getting 7 kills in total, while Fuziken's just trying to secure this. Well, I'll just take it back. He didn't have to secure it.
They were close to securing it, but once you see like the rest of the team of Todak start moving into the jungle, you have to really question how many members are committing. Oh, Meteor Shower here. Ooh, takes away the buff. Nobody has Retribution to steal it away.
Wow, I really like how Moon just easily take that one off without even needing to look what's inside of the brush, and now X-Ray's in trouble. He's going to be flanked by all 3 members again, but here comes Fuziken, pinned by the corner of the wall. But X-Ray's going to be pretty well alive.
Great Purify here. They're going to dive the mid lane here as the rest of the team starts pulling through. That's Sonata forcing out the flicker from JP. He is not going to go down this time round as the rest of the team pulls back up. They don't have a wave. Revelation finishes off that siege turret. The rest of the team of Sunspark is trying to collapse on them. Todak will not get that side flank this time.
I just love how these teams are not even giving each other any rest at all. Every time where they actually get one pick off, the other team will be actually doing some objectives or even trying to crush down some towers. And now that we're seeing that turtle spawning in towards the river here, we're looking at members of Todak trying to secure it, whilst Fuziken's just trying to chase off E1. Well, I'm looking at Todak here, who is hiding behind the shadows here, just waiting for Sunspark to strike.
Yeah, they can't start. They would like to start it. However, Leomord, he still has to clear up that top side, and I think they just want to stall here. They're just kind of, waiting it out, seeing how Sunspark kind of reacts to this, because Leomord will move at any point in time. Bottom lane, Xborg is taking quite a bit of damage. Last Insanity, he pulls it out. Resident, he's going to be A-okay, but this is not going to be good for the top side as X-Ray is in a lot of trouble. Even with the Phantom Seed, it's just too much true damage coming in from the carry.
So much of that DPS output coming from the Frisia, and now with Todak here having some easy takedown on that turtle with the help of Moon, of course, on that Meteor Shower. Now Renzo's all alone, Flicker being popped as well, and somehow he still managed to escape, but not for long. Chica's going to push them all over, and speaking of pushing them off, it's going to be Fuziken securing that kill, and now E1's running for his life, and with that, Sunspark comes out with a total of 7 kills for now.
Such a good play coming in from Fuziken here. He uses the 1,000-pounder, gets right in the middle. Let's look at the replay here as Rezo, he goes down, but look at that rejuvenation. It pops down, and Fuziken is just like, no, I am not letting you abuse that. I'm going to push you out of the zone.
That was so beautiful. I can't really explain how they actually reacted so quickly, but look at how Todak is still pretty much equivalent in terms of gold. It's only 400 that sets them apart, and there's already Athena shields as well as axe for both the Xborg as well as Lolita. On the other side, of course, there's the endless battle as well for the Granger, which I'm looking at the Granger now with that 3 kills, the only member that's really ramping up from the side of Todak.
Yeah, but so far the gold is even. Like, both sides are, they're being very efficient with their moves. They're trading pretty evenly. Even though Sunspark does have a 3-kill lead, it doesn't mean that Todak hasn't been making moves across the map. The turtles that have added up, they have accumulated. Wow. Oh no, he's going to be locked in here. Fuziken waiting the full duration. He's not getting out. The Numenon Blast does come down. They get the first kill on onto the high loss, but the rest of the team is pulled out. Revelation, he blocks out the entire Meteor Shower, protecting his team. They're going to be locking E1 down. He flickers right on out of there. He doesn't want to get back in there. Fuskin is in a little bit of trouble, takes a little bit of damage from the crescendo, but it's not going to be enough.
I'm loving how Fuziken is setting the tempo for every single match.
E1!
E1! Oh, he goes down for the mega kill, and he will fall into the hands of Kill right here. Kill VJ 404. That's no error, by the way, as we see this turtle definitely going to be snatched here by Sunspark.
Yeah, great play coming in from Sunspark, but E1, what you doing there, buddy? Like, you're already low. You gotta respect not Revelation, but you gotta respect KLVJ, because he is just absolutely killing it, and he is one of the leading mages on their side. So he's got a lot of gold on him. He needs to get that Athena shield sooner rather than later.
Well, now, speaking of Athena shield, of course, some of these members already have it, but look at Ninas here. They're getting clipped off once again as Fuziken hits him on the wall with a hurricane dance. He was coming into the rescue as well, but look at the rest of the members of Todak. They're marching right into the jungle, and Ninas, the first one to fall, lost out with the Granger as well. 2 down from the Malaysian side as we see KLVJ chasing over an X-Ray, and they will not let this one slide. JP goes in for the triple kill, and he's hunting for more. Can he go in for a Maniac? Of course, it's a little bit way too late to secure that, but Sunsparks now getting a huge leap after the team fight.
Yeah, let's look at the replay one more time, because as you can see, Moon was trying to get some damage and actually eliminate Rezio here in the back line, and a lot of that damage was wasted. For some reason, he took so little damage. He was able to kind of kite it out just enough to mitigate the amount from that Meteor Shower, which is really, really impressive.
Well, I gotta say, we're starting off the day here with a huge triple kill on JP. Well, make no mistakes at all. We're seeing Sunspark here, of course, one of the hot favorites from the Philippines, and now here setting one up against X-Ray all by himself as well. Phantom Seed has already been called, but there's no use calling out Barbell when you have 3 men flanking from the back. And what I love about Sunsparks is they are so efficient on those turret dive.
Yeah, they really, really are. They hold their abilities until they absolutely have to, and I think that was kind of on X-Ray for turning back into the fight when he could have run the opposite direction. But I think he knew he just had to buy a lot of time.
Yep, and definitely bought just enough time for themselves. And we're getting in us here. They're going to go in for the catch, and the Panda will be taken down.
Finally, Fuziken actually goes down, and Lord is going to be potentially in the hands of Todak. They might need to take the 50-50, and it looks pretty good because 2 members from the side of Sunspark is down. It's a 3v5.
Well, speaking of this TV5 here, that's going to be a huge wall charge over onto Kill VJ, but he's going to go right in towards the Order of Brilliance, flicker over the wall, and Rezio with the last insanity right in between the Vilma Voss as well. Oh my goodness, they're turning it around, and Raficia will be the next one to drop, and now that Chang is going to go on a killing spree, and Kill VJ's got to bow out on this one, and Todak now has absolute control on the Lord.
I mean, how is Kill still alive after everything that just happened? I mean, Todak, they should be able to secure this, but looking at this replay, like, E1 was right on top of him. Kill, at the very last second, was able to get that Harmony as well as the Brilliance, and he manages to survive, flickering over the wall when everything was looking so bleak. The Numenon Blast was a great effort, but again, look at that rejuvenation, perfectly put on top of the rest of the team members. He just Hylos just powers through all that damage.
Yeah, and I really got to give credit to all these members of Todak because their position was so magnificent. All the frontliners were doing their duty, and none of these members of Sunsparks have managed to reach the backline in that sort of sense as they were pushed back into the jungle. And, well, for Kill VJ, he seems like he's pretty much untouchable for the time being.
Pretty much, and I think they need a little bit more time to kind of scale. Golden Staff already being purchased by JP. They kind of need to contest Lord at this point in time. I mean, Todak just won a really good fight, but a lot of their members are getting chunked out and are recalling as well. Ninas.
Wow, of course, for Ninas, he's definitely gonna be getting himself ready to get himself in towards the Lord Pit, which right now the Hylos is marching right into it. But look at Renzo here. He's already got that immortality. Same goes to Fuziken, so they could dive in whenever they are ready. So Sunsparks here, they are calling the shots. They're trying to bait them with this Lord call, but the members of Todak, they're reacting and responding with a little bit split by themselves. Look at the bot lane.
Yep, and Rezio, he doesn't have his full armor yet. This allows X-Ray to actually get some damage onto that turret. He might be, he shouldn't be able to take this. And yes, he pulls back away. Todak played that really, really well, using E1 as the living ward, getting the information and playing around it.
Now, E1, of course, being the frontliner, like you said, and he's just going to buy enough time. And I just love how Todak just negate that pressure by just splitting up on towards 2 of these lanes. And, of course, Meteor Child being utilized here will just be shredding some a little bit of the help coming from Fuzaken. But both sides, they really know that if they were to commit, they want it to become a full swing of a win for either side.
Exactly, and I think Todak, they just have to keep playing this game. They just have to keep sitting on Rezio getting chunked out. He doesn't get the last insanity, but the Firaga armor breaks. Chiku is like, nah, don't want to push any further, don't want to force anything out just yet. We're waiting for Sunspark to make a mistake, and Todak is waiting with a shiv in hand, waiting for the killing blow. They get the initial kill. They punished him. Rezio is going to be going down. The immortality is popped, but he flickers on out of there. He survives.
How on earth did he survive that? He flickers off in time as well, and he was just by the edge. It almost clipped him, but Todak, they were doubling down on the bottom side. They still get the tower instead.
Yeah, I mean, Todak is playing this macroly so well. Sunspark is in a position where they can't force anything unless they have position, and Todak, they understand that. They see as long as Fuzaken doesn't get a good Hurricane dance and Rezio is chunked out, they can play the map, and they're doing a really good job at playing the map.
I certainly must say that they are so great in that macro play, and I can't help but to agree with every word you say. Now, Fuzaken already at the forefront, trying to deal with E1, but you know, tanks versus tanks, not really the ideal situation. Felicia also waiting on the back as well. The Lolita could possibly channel a great Luminon Blast if Todak ever comes right in towards the lower pit once again. Now, look at JP though.
I mean, JP is going to get chunked out, but I think E1 should be okay here. I don't think JP is, you know, absolutely unstoppable just yet. Chang'e is right behind her, so they don't have to worry. But, you know, on the bottom side of the map, they're, like, trying to make sure they keep control over the waves. And as long as Todak keep playing this rotational game, I think they might be able to get out of this. Nanas takes a little bit of damage, but he's not the priority target.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you can see gold has already been evened up by the side of Todak. And there was not really that sort of a gap in between other than the mid-game itself. Now, look at Chiku as well as these members of Todak. They are on the back front. And Fuzaken trying to run for his life. Rezio going for last inside of the pops the L right in front of the members of Todak. And once again, they're getting caught out. And Xborg will be the first one to fall. X-Ray gone the hunt. That's going to nail them to the wall. And JP gets himself safe. But he was trying to hold them all the back. And now it's time for the Lord. And Chico's already taking it down.
Yeah, they called them off. Todak is just like, retreat, boys. We don't need to keep on going forward. Let's look at that replay one more time. And honestly, I have to commend Fuzaken there. That was almost an insanely good play if he was able to get that Hurricane that's just a little bit earlier, but they just did not let him. The Purifies were there and they were ready, and this is when the mistake happens because Sunspark is fighting in the playground, in the battlefield of Todak, where they are stuck in one line. The moment they are in one line, not a lot of, you know, broad corners to kind of dodge away from the ultimate from Moon. They are just in a straight firing line.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that they really got to watch out for. And none of these members from the side of Sunsparks have been able to reach anywhere close to Moon either. So fighting inside the jungle, definitely not the ideal situation for Sunsparks. But look at them go. They're going to go in for another catch, and they might just be able to get that kill over on the nest. But here comes X-Ray though. X-Ray as well, being chunked down low.
Oh my God.
No! There comes the blast, and double kill headed towards the side of JP as well. And SSAs, that's enough for a day as they have to stop the Lord from marching towards the bottom side, which means Todak is trying to clear up mid lane and open things up by taking down the tower, but there's not enough time for them to even get anywhere close.
Felicia single-handedly won Sunspark that fight and netted them, stopped that Lord push, all because he put up his shield at the right time. That Guardian's Bulwark, just so good, blocks the entire crescendo, blocks the entire meteor shower, no damage from the backline. He just took it like a champ.
Oh, yes, indeed. And look at Todak here, of course. Now they're having that goal all swinging in their favor, of course. By this moment here, 70 minutes of play, they should be able to complete those are the items. And look at X-Ray. He's really not that sort of a player that's all about that KDA. Although he's 0-5, he's still having quite a little bit of that impact where he's in charge of pulling members of Sunsparks all across, just distracting them, trying to bait and switch, trying to secure all that sort of macro play that they've been pulling off for the entirety of this matchup.
Oh, Rezio's in trouble. Last Insanity over the wall, trying to hop on over into safety, but he might be in trouble because Chiku is not going to let him get away. The crescendo comes through, but Rezio's one hit away. The immortality is popped. Glorious Pathway is put down. They might need to use the rejuvenation. E1 is taking a lot of damage, but again, rejuvenation is put already down, but Fuziken is not going to let them play the game. Flicker coming in from E1, well played, but he still goes down. The passive from Carry takes him at the very end. Ooh, golden staff. Beautiful item.
Look at how chaotic that sort of team fight was, and it's only one casualty. And they are playing with such clinical finishes that they are not trying to make any sort of mistakes at all. But E1, of course, was soaking most of that chunk of the damage, and we all know E1 as one of the best tanks hailing from Malaysia. And now he's already 0-3-5, but every single time he goes in, he wants to make sure that he gets one sort of takedown. But now we're seeing Sunsparks here trying to open up the mid lane, and Lurfisa at the frontline defense. There's still the immortality, so there's no reason for Todak to actually expend their utilities on that Lolita.
Exactly, and I think this is already just a great matchup. I think Sunspark honestly should have been the favorites coming in, especially against Todak here, because again, we haven't seen Todak go out of their, their comfort zone into the international scene, and I think they're doing a great job against Sunspark, who honestly have been playing a really tough game and a really tough composition that requires a lot of mechanical skills. So a lot of commendation going over to Sunspark, especially Fuziken. It's really dependent on their tanks right now. Like, Sunspark is solely dependent on their tanks to set up the fight.
And not only the tanks, the carries have to do their duty. Well, of course, speaking of carry, we're seeing JP here with 7 kills already, and for Kill, he's been performing since the start of the game. So these are the two guys they really have to catch out.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh, that's now actually being popped too. Oh, they get the catch.
Whoa.
The immortality being popped on the Fuziken. He can use the 1,000-pounder. He's gonna be safe, but they finally break that immortality. They have to wait for their cooldowns, hold their ground, clear the waves, and maybe look for a fight. But again, Sunspark, they know, they're like, all right, let's pull back a little bit, take our time with this. They don't have our ultimates. Maybe we can set up a fight. Revelation in trouble. Rezio already with a flame strike. He's already popped up to get some momentum to move backwards. Chico is taking quite a bit of damage, but they're not going to push through. Meteor Shower using to clear the waves. Kale taking a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Numenon Blast. Is he going to flicker? Yes, he does. He gets the catch onto the initial target. Hylos is going to go down. Rejuvenate is already there. The Guardian's Bulwark has been popped up, but it's not going to be enough.
Well, definitely not going to be having all too much of a business here from Todak, as they've already lost out Dinas. And now Sunsparks calling out the Lord, and this is going to be the second Lord of the game. And can there be any reaction at all from Todak? They're opting for a split push. They're marching down to the top side as well as the mid lane, and they say, you can have the Lord all you want, but I'm going to take down your base. But the side of Sunsparks here, they got to either recall or find a way to fight back. Todak now did not have enough time to get anywhere close to that tower. Renzio, though, getting a little damage, being chunked out, and that will be the Akai taking off the Granger, and now losing Chiku is definitely a big blow to Todak.
Yeah, I think dying now might have been a big mistake here, because now Chiku, one of the core members, has a 40-second plus death timer, and Lord, by the time he comes back to life, Lord is already knocking on that inhibitor.
Look at the graph. What does it tell you? The members of Sunsparks are turning things around by breaking the silence, taking down Lord, taking down one member off the side of Todak. With that sort of pickoff here, they managed to set things up so perfectly. Phantom Steed has already been called out, but to no sort of opportunities for him to even react. Now, Malefic Raw on the hands of Chiku, definitely giving a little bit more burstiness, hitting in towards the hands of the Granger, but to the side of Sunspark, they're waiting for a mistake. They're waiting for the Lord to come right in. Fuziken going in, pinning down 2 members off the wall. And that Hurricane Death was so pivotal. No blast to stack upon it as well. Double kill for JP as they manage to crash right in. Now they're looking to secure game 1 in the hands of the Philippines. And Sunspark here are doing what they please, and they are going in for this finishing blow. And now Todak is on the back foot, and Sunsparks takes game 1.
Oh my goodness, Fuziken is actually insane. He is actually ridiculous. That was so nasty. Goes right in the middle, gets the Petrify off, and immediately pulls them in with the ultimate. Oh my goodness, well played Sunspark here. Todak, they've got to hold their ground. This might be